1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters gon' move, whatever click you choose.
Now, I've got several requests, quite a few actually, to give my my opinion on this situation right here, where Spider has made some very wild allegations and very disrespectful allegations about legendary Crip Monster Kody. For those who may not know, Monster Kody is from A-Tray Gangster, and he is a, I think, well recognized and I think is admitted by all, a legendary Crip. He wrote a book that was well received, and at a time when you didn't have a lot of individuals writing books about the inner going ons in relation to the urban community, gang banging, and so on and so forth, right? The book actually inspired me as well to honestly to try to Crip harder and be the best Crip that I can be. When I was free, I happened to run across the book. At the time I was on the run. I was in Los Angeles and read the book. Saw him on the cover, and I read the book. What I liked about the book was, that he was putting in a lot of work, but not only that, he was going on a lot of missions by himself, and also he personified a gang member. He personified a Crip, and anytime I think an individual is doing whatever he's doing, whether it's tattooing, playing basketball, playing pool, when you see a dude who is in the upper echelon of what you are doing and what you inspire to be, and he is doing it in a right fashion, you may aspire to be like him, because I believe right now at times, with social media and so on and so forth, the way gangbanging has spread, it has become somewhat of a fashion. But this is back when it was really still an underground culture type thing. And so this is who Monster Kody was and is, for those who may not be familiar with Monster Kody. So let's fast forward to the situation going on here. So you got Spider, who was beefing with Aunt Hefe. Aunt Hefe happens to be from the same hood as Monster Kody. To sum it up, Spider felt that there was some incorrect, false information put out there in regards to his homeboys, and he felt that Hefe played a part in spreading that misinformation. But let me show you exactly what Spider said in his own words surrounding all that stuff.
But this is what they in their feelings about me saying, hey, you're speaking on my homies incorrectly. Even though I had Auntie Hefe on the black box, giving Monster Kody all the keyway props we can give him. Gave him everything we could give him without mentioning all the bullshit. Purposely. It's not my job to put your G homie on blast that wrote this book that all the out-of-towners. I got Auntie Hefe on my content, on my platform. I'm gonna respect what you respect for the world. Never gonna tell the truth on your G homie or all that foul bullshit shit. But then he had a habit of getting on his platform, speaking on my homies. Not only negative, but dishonestly negative. He has this story in his mind where recently somebody that's a red rag got violated like Munchie, and they wrecked him in the county jail. And for some reason, he felt like he needed to announce on the internet that in retaliation, a similar incident happened to someone from East Coast. Not just myself, but everybody I know from East Coast. We search high, low, in the system, out the system, this street, that block. We want to know who from East Coast this happened to. The person does not exist. However, Auntie Hefe is comfortable having his platform out there stating a member of the East Coast Crips got violated just like Munchie B in his rectum in the county jail a few months ago. He's never corrected that. Then he's also come on this platform and tried to push this 50-0. Hey, no big deal. Hey, all I'm gonna do is come on here and say this. If you're gonna do that, I could tell the truth about your G homie, Monster Kody, who was sucking dick, smoking dope, wearing dresses downtown LA the day he died. These are things I never chose to say out of respect for you as a Keyway on these platforms. But now you want to get on these platforms as kindred, friendly to me, and then lie on my homies? All right, you're going to lie on me, tell the truth on you. So if you didn't know Monster Kody was smoking dope, sucking dick, wearing dresses downtown LA, now you know.
I did not know that.
Now you know.
Or hear that.
Now you know, for Def Do Gang.
Now, I don't know exactly how old Spider is. I feel that he's probably pretty close to my age, if not, maybe not 4 or 5 years close, but somewhat, old enough to have pretty much some of the same principles and teachings that dudes in my era were raised on, right? And I didn't mention earlier, for those who may not know, Monster Kody is now deceased. I think it was important to mention what age group Spider was raised in, because contrary to what you see going on today in the gang banging culture and community all across America now, people feel it's okay to disrespect the dead. That was something that growing up in my day and time was a definite thing that was not to be done, regardless of who the dead individual was. And so for Spider to make these allegations and accusations against an individual that I think everybody would agree was a very solid, well-loved Crip and well-respected. See, back in those days, right, even though you may have been in a beef with certain individuals from certain hoods, if they was doing what they were supposed to do as a gang member, standing down on 10 toes, getting caught for various things and not snitching, going to do their time, participating in the wars in a way that was expected by all Crip and Bloods back then. Even if you did not like this individual or like where he was from, you still had to, acknowledge what he was doing, even though now we may view it as wrong. Even some dudes who was participating in all that stuff, now they have a different, back then they have a different ideology or a different feeling on it now. But for an individual who was doing the things that he was doing, any real gang member had to acknowledge that he was quote unquote a real one. And so I don't think anybody has ever heard anything about any of these allegations or these things that Spider has said, right? And so many people feel just for him to drag an individual into what he has going on with Hefe, an individual who is so loved and respected and feared the way that Monster Kody was, that it was just 100% wrong. And like I said, I'm from the same era where I just don't believe in disrespecting the dead. I don't believe in throwing dirt on the dead, or I don't believe in, for the most part, even speaking on an individual who is not here in the physical form. I don't mean alive. I just mean here with his presence. Speaking, talking ill of an individual who's not even in your presence. I was just raised where that's wrong. If you got something to say about somebody, say it in their face. If that's so. And so, yeah, this is just this situation right here, of course, has caused a lot of backlash, a lot of anger, and a lot of dudes feeling extremely disrespected by the words that Spider, let come out his mouth. Also, just to go on a public platform, like Cam Capone or any public platform and just say something like that. You have a lot of dudes, man, who are upset, and once again, rightfully so. I disagree with his actions. I disagree, with saying something like that about an individual, especially an individual who's no longer here, and an individual who is just well respected. And so to me, that was just a bad move. You have a lot of people saying, man, that he's going through some things. He's spiraling out of control. And, I don't know anything about that, right? But I just definitely agree that, disrespecting the dead, man, is wrong, especially for a dude who, who's a Crip or who was a Crip or whatever. I don't know, to my understanding, he's still a Crip, or he views himself as a Crip. I don't know all about that, but to disrespect the individual who has done so much for what you are a part of, or what you once was a part of, or whatever, who has put so much shine on it, regardless of the individuals who may feel that it is a bad thing to add shine to. The truth of the matter is, Monster Kody was a Crip. The truth of the matter is, at one point in time, Spider was a Crip. So Spider has a song called A Beautiful World. Actually, that song was well embraced by a lot of Crips as well, because he was basically talking about cripping in that song and just everything blue. That song was well received by a lot of Crips, and so, it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. It put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, for him to slander that man's name the way he did. And so, once again, I reiterate, I definitely think it was wrong as well, man. Anyway, a lot of people were just asking my opinion on that situation, so I wanted to bring it to y'all, man. Once again, before I go, let me say rest in peace to Monster Kody. You already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.